Hello, I'm Jeremy, and today we're going to take a look at a little bit of what it is that I'm going to do with this website. There are people who are already doing this, and the base foundation is I want to present things through facts and evidence. So with America's Test Kitchen, they're one of these sites. So is Project Farms. America's Test Kitchen, Project Farm, and then Matt Risinger. And they all have videos that deal with what I want to do, but a lot better, more streamlined, easier to understand, getting to what it is that people who are interested in whatever, getting more to the heart of the matter. And so if this is something that you're interested in, you like, and you've been enjoying all this stuff and following along, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, that Patreon and subscribe star to help me out so I can expand and start doing all this, yada, yada, yada. So anyways, Matt Risinger, he is a general contractor. Yeah, because he's not maybe he was an actual carpenter and electrician and plumber at one time, but he's a general contractor now, which means he hires everybody. You get a general contractor and say you want to build a house, it's what he does. And so he'll go out and he'll find the plumbers, the electricians, the carpenters, the roofers, all of it, and get them all together and help the person who's building the home, the plans, and talk about the designs and the materials and all that kind of stuff. And so all of these have links in the description below if you're interested in all this. But this is more to give you an example of what I'm interested in doing. So he has a setup for today on this episode where he's got copper and PEX and SharkBites, and he's got it wrong. PEX versus copper versus SharkBites. I mean, I guess in a way. He's got copper tubes, and then he has PEX, and then there's also PVC, but today nobody uses PVC because PEX is just like PVC, except it's better because it's flexible and it bends, so then that way whenever it gets really cold, it can flex and take the flex without it busting, which is a problem that PEX has. And then why people really kind of use copper today, I don't know. It's expensive, and whenever it does get cold, yeah, it's going to bust on you. So I don't know. I don't see enough of a gain to be able to use copper. One of the claims that they do say with copper, what was it? I saw something where they were doing another test on another thing talking about hospitals and how to kill bad little microbes on surfaces, and that hospitals that have copper doors, handles, and the little handles for drawers and cabinets, that copper will kill that stuff. But it takes a while. The best surface, I can't remember what it was. I want to say maybe it was a stainless steel. No, maybe it was copper. I don't know, but they did it on several materials. They tested it all out. And so that is an advantage to copper over PEX for sure. But he's got all these little tubes, and he puts SharkBite tips on the ends of them, fills them up full of water, puts them in a fridge, sees which ones break and where, and just how well do they do when freezing. Yeah, because that's what it's called. It's a freezing test right there. And those SharkBite freezes and the PEX, that's it. That's what does it all the time. It's because the little SharkBites, they've got these little teeth, and so the more you pull on them, you've got the water inside the tube, and the more it freezes, it expands, and that it just makes those teeth work even more. So that those things, they worked. And this is really good. So the website is, you have to present evidence. And you can do opinions, that's fine. I'm not saying that, but you're not going to be able to lie. That's what this is all based on, is that it has to be based. If you're going to claim something as truthful as being true, then you have to have something to support it and back it up. Where's your evidence? Because some nut job just going on there and saying it isn't going to work. And this is something that I've talked about, is that people are already doing this. I mean, if you're in construction, or if you're just even a homeowner, and you're having problems with your pipes, wouldn't it be nice where you could go to a place and then here it all is? And so a lot of this is going to be, a tremendous amount of this, if not all of it, is going to be based off of the people. So people can pose their questions, their concerns or whatever, and then upvote and downvote. So in that way they can get to specifically what it is that they want. And it's going to be divided up more than that. It's going to be divided up with like people who are professionals like Matt, where they're actually in the field. So this is his field of expertise. And then also with people who are just kind of consumers. They don't know very much, but maybe they do have different concerns because they definitely don't always line up. And then with Project Farms, with the link that I have in the description below, he does quite a bit of this. If you look on his channel, he's got 1.69 million subscribers, and this is what he does like all the time. You go to his homepage and you click on videos and see what all of his videos are about. This is it. He does a lot of this stuff. And this one is about plumbing too, actually. I didn't plan on that, but what can you use to unclog your drains? And he's got liquid Drano, he's got pure lye, Clobbler, acid, and yes, you can use acid, and really that's kind of what Drano is. And then he's got liquid plumber, and I don't know what this last one is, drain and something. So what he does is that he puts like some grease and some food, some vegetables, some hair. It may not have been him with the hair. It might have been someone else, because I watched a few of these because I'm having plumbing issues going on right now. And several other things to see how well do all of these work at cleaning up the problems. And he found out that some things like the liquid Drano did very well whenever it came to hair and soap scum and dead skin cells. Did nothing for food. And so they most of them, there were a couple though, I think, if I'm remembering this correctly, that they did nothing. They were just pure trash. And then some of them did really good with grease, but then horrible somewhere else. And then some of them did really good with all the kind of dead human cells and hair and stuff that you would find in a bathroom. Did really great on that. So some of these products would do really great in the kitchen, others would do really great in the bathroom. And so that's really good to know. And then also he had like bolts and items that had rust on them, because some of these products can do damage to your pipes. And so it's like, do you really want to use them? And it's like, well, yes, you do, but maybe as a last ditch effort to kind of deal with it, the best thing is just not put stuff down in it in the first place. And then we have America's Test Kitchen. I like this. So this little bowl right here is just for cooking, and you can serve with it and stuff. They recommended this. They liked it a lot because it was stainless steel, full throughout. It's very lightweight. It has an easy to grip on the side right here, and it wasn't very much. And they were like, yeah, you buy a nice, good quality one, and it wasn't that expensive at all. But it can last you forever, and it's nice. I mean, I was eating a little bit of pineapple out of this. And they go over quite a few of them, and they've been around for a long time. And they have one called Equipment Review, and they've done 63 videos on this. And I think they have more. I don't think they put every one of them, because it kind of depends on what it is that they're actually doing. So, but anyways, on the link that I have below in the description, this is about the best stainless steel skillet, and why there's that one, why did it win, why did it not, and they go over all of this stuff. So they like it whenever it's all metal and you don't have a plastic handle, for example, because whenever you have a plastic handle, you can't put it into an oven because it gets too hot and you risk the very real possibility of the handle melting. But whenever it's all metal, then you can take it from the stove right into the oven. And there are definitely times whenever you're cooking that's something that you want to do. They talk about the non-stick of it. They talk about the metal assembly of it. And so in this case, they're talking about sandwiching stainless steel on both sides of aluminum to help with the heat spread, so you've got a good surface. They're talking about the weight of it and the ergonomics and how heavy and how much wear it puts on your hand and your wrist, and the durability of it, because they price range, they grab several, they grab about 10 of them or so from about $80 to $400. and the one that they like the most, or at least the one they did this before, and their winner from last time was $120 because they like the weight. They also like the shape of it. So, you know, having a pan where the sides go straight down versus kind of going in, that has an effect about how much food that you can have in, because the more food that you pack in there, the more it becomes a steamer, and whenever it's a little further apart, then it sears it, which means that it cooks the meat in a way so then that way nothing leaves the inside, you know, so like that steam doesn't leave, so then that way it's kind of a little bit juicier and it's a little bit more tender and it's really good. And there's reasons to do both, and you know, just kind of mix things up. So it just depends on kind of whatever you're in the mood for. And they just go over all this stuff, and you can see them that back there in the background, it's a kitchen, and they have all of these chefs back there, and they have all these cooking stations, all these sinks and ovens and all this stuff, and this is what they do. They cooked like, I watched several of these just recently, but with one of them, they cooked like, with each pan, they cooked like 50 eggs. I think it was actually the one that I watched before this one. You know, just, yeah, because that one was about the nonstick surface with ceramics and the problems with them, and it didn't sound like getting a ceramic nonstick was worth it, that you would want like a stainless steel that is going to hold up better, but there was a problem with the chemicals that they were using, and there was a chemical that was actually proved to be kind of bad, and they've stopped putting that in there altogether. And still, with the pots and pans that you have today that are non-stick ceramic or stainless steel, that if you get it to 500 degrees or above, then there's a problem that it might have some, it might kind of melt the non-stick a little bit, and then it releases a fume that could be kind of deadly. And it's kind of like, well, what do you mean by that? Because it's the same kind of thing with asbestos, that if you're working with asbestos, then you can have problems, health problems associated with that. But if you ever watch the commercials, they don't ever talk about anybody that's in the home. They're talking about people who actually work in that for a living. And so they talked about shipping mills and stuff like this, where you were working, you know, like knee deep in asbestos every single day because if it was something that was going on in the home, and then all these people would be sick all the time. It's the same thing with black mold. They talk about, yeah, it's really harmful and deadly. It's like, no, it's not. Because you have mold right now in your kitchen, in your bathroom, where you have your washer and dryer, and it's because anywhere where it has food, air, and water, it can grow, and you can see it in your bathroom right now. You know what? It's not going to do anything to you. We are not that fragile. If we were that fragile, we would have all died out a long time ago. And so it's fine. But they want to kind of hype it up and make it into something that it really isn't. I mean, for example, my grandparents, who knew absolutely nothing about any of this stuff whenever they were growing up, and they were exposed to it a hell of a lot more than what we are. I mean, they both lived into their 90s, and they didn't have any problems of any kind associated with any of this stuff at all. But yes, if you work around it constantly, if it's your job, then that's a completely different situation. And so all of this, I don't want to be lied to anymore, but whenever you saw those ads, whenever they were talking about mold and asbestos, they made it seem like every single person was in danger, and they used it to hype up business, and it was just a scam. I remember there was one episode of The Simpsons, The Simpsons, and Homer and all this kind of stuff. It was, anyways, it was fun. But I wanted to show these three because this is exactly what it is that I want to do. Because this is going to work so well with dealing with lies. Because there are people who are, this is just 3 channels that I just happened to randomly kind of bump into whenever I was searching for things for my kitchen, for unclogging drains. I know a little bit about plumbing too, and I did a little bit of plumbing work where I replumbed the shower, tore it all down and did all that, and put up a new shower and tore out the wall and got into it. How much would you be able to do if you had good, accurate, up-to-date information with all this stuff? And it changes all the time. So they have trade shows where it's just all this construction stuff. You know, trade shows just with roofing and all the new roofing techniques and the materials that they have. Same thing with piping, tools. Oh my goodness, the tool shows that they have. It's just nothing but tools. It's a scam too, though, because you have like the Walton, Milwaukee, and you have, what is that one at Walmart, Hart. There's like 36 different tool companies, but if you look into it, it's really only 6, and then they just recolor and rebrand it. An obvious example of this that's really easy by 2 companies that most people are really probably familiar with is Black & Decker. and DeWalt. And so Black & Decker, that's sold there at, Lowe's. Whenever you look at those little drill bit cases that they have, they're exactly the same as the ones from DeWalt. And they fit together because they're the same. And companies don't want to do that. They want theirs to fit separately so you can't interchange them and use them because they want you to buy just theirs. And they do this with a lot of other products too. It's crap. For example, those little battery packs that you put in there. I've got the old torpedo ones right there, and today they're kind of these little slip-ins. The EU over there in Europe has kind of got fed up with it, and I don't know if they actually did it or not, but I know that they were talking about making a standardized form for all of them, so then that way, another game that they play is that one company might do a drill that's really good, but with someone else, they've got a different tool that does really well, and so you want both. But then you have to go out and buy both their damn batteries because they're not interchangeable with each other. And the EU was talking about, yeah, that's kind of a jip right there, and so we're going to make it where they all have to do the same, so then that way it doesn't matter which battery it is that you're buying, you can use it for all of your tools. So, yeah, it's just, they do it with stores too. So, like, I just bought a miter saw from DeWalt, and Home Depot, they have a special exclusive with this. No one else has it. And it was a $50 difference. It's like, yes, and you buy enough tools. I mean, just $50 alone is enough to be worth it. But they do this with all their stores. I think, well, Lowe's, they also too have their exclusive stuff. It's such a headache. And it's like, I'm going to put it all together. So this is just it. This is absolutely it. So this is good enough for now. So whenever you're out there and you're shopping for stuff, just kind of be aware of this. Another thing that I really hate is that you can find these top 10 lists, and it's just crap. It's someone from India, and just like whenever you have your phone and you're talking into it, it will change your talking to text. Well, they have the opposite where it's text to speech, and it'll just read the page, and that's why it kind of sounds janky with all of that stuff. And then they just put together a whole bunch of pictures and videos of the product. But what you don't have is that you don't see somebody, you don't see the person who's talking to you because, one, they're not real. And two, is that they didn't buy the stuff. They don't buy it. They don't use it. They don't know anything about it. And it's like all they're doing is reading the stuff off of Amazon and some of the consumer reviews. And it's just all that is nonsense too. Whenever I buy something, I like to go to Amazon too to see how many people have bought it. And I'm not going to buy something that doesn't have a lot of reviews to it. I want it to be in the thousands. So then that way I feel a little bit more comfortable, because while it still sucks, it is better than nothing. And that's kind of all that we have right now. It's so often I look at the 1 stars and I'll see something like, well, this product was delivered to me and it was damaged, so it's a 1 star. That has absolutely nothing with the product that you bought. That means that you need to go give a 1 star to FedEx or UPS or whoever it is that delivered the product, and they deserve a 1 star, because they're not supposed to even pick up the package if it's damaged in the first place. So regardless of what happened, it's all on the shipping company's fault right there. And so they're the ones who deserve the 1 star. Or another one is that with Amazon and eBay and Walmart, we can create a business, and then we can do all of our business transactions through Amazon, through Walmart, or through eBay. So like eBay, they have eBay stores, and it's just a person. Same thing with Amazon. It's just a person, or maybe a little small mom, pop, and the family's involved with all of that stuff. And they'll ship something, and for whatever reason, they need to ship it back, or they're trying to communicate with them, and they'll give the product 1 star. It's like, that has absolutely nothing to do with it. It's like, it's not Amazon either. And it's like, yes, it's a 1 star, but you put it at the wrong place. And you know why? Because you don't have a place to put it in the first place. And so I'm going to give flexibility for people to be able to select these categories as to what needs to go where, and also to explain why. And then it's going to be the people who are going to vote, yeah, this is actually legit, or no, it's not, you're full of it, or whatever. And it's not going to be me. It's not going to be some kind of group of people that I hire, like Mark Zuckerberg, and having some kind of, well, we want to have a fair and diverse. No, it's competence. And you know who's competent? People. Because you know what's better than 1 head is 2. What's better than 2, 4. And it keeps going up. And so you want as many people as possible. So yeah. And so does this pertain to you and to everyone else out there? It's like, yes, because do you shop? Do you have money? Do you go out and buy things? It's like, yes, absolutely. Are you tired of the news and the politics? For example, right now I've been doing a whole bunch of videos about China and all the nonsense that's going over. I'm going to be repeating myself on a lot of this stuff. I'll be bringing up some new things, obviously, because they're all talking about this. So there's one with Sticks and Hammer 666 where he's talking about China, and he's talking about how China has a real problem with feeding their people because they have over 1 billion people, and so they are relying upon others. And he's like, yeah, we're not gonna go into stuff. And it's like, this is exactly what I'm saying, and I don't want to keep watching stuff like this. I want it all to be taken care of, where it's kind of a one-time deal, and so then that way we can do other things, because I would rather be working out there in the garage. It's really fun doing build projects out there. So yeah, so absolutely. So if you like this, I mean, which you should, you know, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, become a member, share this with people too. Just say, hey, I've been watching this guy. What do you think? That's all that it takes. You know, just some nonchalant little question, you know, put it out there on Twitter, Facebook, whatever. Knock yourself out. It would help. I do appreciate it. Hope you've enjoyed, and we will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.